everybody. Welcome to the Training, Learning, and Development community. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon to you, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. We're back with another session with Alan Natachu, the final part of his series, What Makes an Accessible PDF Accessible. Thanks so much for making the time, Alan. Really appreciate it. The series has been great so far. I have a really interesting thing that I did just moments before you logged on. I used ChatGPT and I said, summarize this, part 1 of part 3. I just plugged in this URL in GPT-3, and I said, summarize that page, and this is what it gave me. It said, in this video, in the first session, Alan Natachu discusses what makes a PDF accessible. He explains that an accessible PDF is one that can be read by screen readers and other assistive technologies used by people with disabilities. He also talks about the importance of using proper structure, adding alt text to images, and providing clear and concise content. Natachu provides examples and demonstrations of how to create an accessible PDF using Adobe Acrobat. So everyone, if you didn't check out that first session, that's the link for it there. And then the second session, which we did a few weeks ago, let me go ahead and paste that in. And that one, ChatGPT gave me, in this video, Alan Natachu discusses what makes a PDF accessible. He highlights the importance of having a clear document structure, using meaningful and descriptive titles, headings, and alt text for images. He also emphasizes the importance of creating accessible tables and using proper color contrast for text and images. Natachu provides tips on how to create an accessible PDF, including the use of built-in accessibility features and software tools like Adobe Acrobat. Additionally, he encourages content creators to test their documents for accessibility using tools such as screen readers and other accessibility checkers. So kudos to you, AI, for coming up with those summaries. They're pretty good. I mean,
yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he did that. He did that. So that's pretty interesting. And I got those results in a span of like 20 seconds. So it's pretty amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. So part 1 and part 3 are now posted in the chat. Everyone, if you missed those, you can go back to them there. And with that, Alan Natachu is here. Let me give you, I forget, you were a Learning Technology Partner. That's what it is, your title. Learning
Correct.
Technology Partner with Exact Sciences and longtime friend and collaborator with the Training, Learning, and Development community. Everyone welcome Alan, and I'm going to go ahead and hide myself from the screen.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am still having some computer issues, but they're not as bad as they were last time that I tried to do this. So, and the last time I said I was going to provide a Windows tool and show a Windows workflow. Well, unfortunately, I can't get that to happen. I run a Mac and I use Boot Camp. I also use Parallels and Fusion, and none of them want to play right now. So we're going to do things just a little bit differently today, a little bit different than what I was planning to do. And I wanted to kind of restart this because what I started out with was a little bit on the complex side. I did go into how things are structured and how to rework a PDF, but I want to show you a couple of tips that will allow you to just kind of breeze through it and make an accessible PDF. And right now we are working towards progress and not perfection. So if you watch the first 2 videos, or if you've been to the first 2 videos and you're just kind of like, what? I'm going to show you a way that will kind of ease you into this and then build upon, you could use those first 2 videos to build upon this technique that I'm going to show you. We're basically going to blow things up. And I'm getting my stuff loaded up. In the meantime, go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Who remembers Coffee Talk on SNL? I do. It's one of my favorite skits. All right, so go ahead and share my screen. Coffee Talk. we go. And sharing my screen. All right. So can I get an audio confirmation that you could see this? Because I'm working with one screen here. Move that out of the way.
Sorry, there it goes. Can you hear me
Okay.
there?
Yes, I
Alan?
can.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it. Sorry, it
Okay.
takes a second for me to get back on in this new version of Crowdcast, but looks good.
Cool. Thank you very much. So we've been working with this document that I created. Theassist is a free VR building platform. If you want something that's free, easy to use, you could use this to create quick VR walkthroughs, interactions, point and click based. And I really like that because it's so easy to do. But let's say you created something in PowerPoint. Let's say you receive a document from someone. Let's say someone created it in Apple Pages. They bring it over to give you the PDF. Well, how can we make that accessible? How can we make it so that we can build a better product with what they've given us? Because if you are a PC user, you can't use Pages unless you use the Pages online service. You can't use PowerPoint on a Mac if all you have is Keynote. Well, you can, but things get kind of wonky in the conversion. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do, open up my accessibility tab. And then I am going to go to the accessibility check. This will tell me everything that's wrong with this, everything that's right. Ooh, yay, only 2 things wrong. That's not the case because I made this really wrong. So the first thing I'm going to do, second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the reading order. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Now, it's supposed to give me a lot more than just these figure shapes. It's supposed to show me the text. It's supposed to show me a lot more things here. And if you receive a document like this, or you receive a document where there's tons of blocks, but they don't make sense, this is what you do to get it right. I'm going to show you 2 options. I wanted to open up the reading order so that you could see how it looks when something's amiss. Right now, it's not recognizing any of the text. So with my reading order window open, I'm going to select this button, Clear Page Structure. This will clear 1 page at a time. You see Figure Theassist website. I'm going to go ahead and select Clear Page Structure, and it will ask me, are you sure? And now Theassist website or screenshot that has been poofed away, moved away. So why would you want to do that? Well, then you could take your cursor and select the items that you want and turn them into headings, turn them into text. And go through and quickly and easily remark the stuff that you need. And if you do this in order, going from top to bottom, if you do it in order, you can set your reading order that way. That's a figure. We'll come back and add alternate text later. But this is also some text. Let me go ahead and select that. Oh, okay. I know why stuff wasn't popping up. Show page content groups was not selected. It's a Monday, y'all. It's all right. But you can see here, there's a lot of stuff that shouldn't be highlighted. And again, I'm going to select while I'm on this page. I want to make sure that I'm on this page. I want to make sure that I am on page 2, which I am. It says it right here. Otherwise, if you do it too early or not on the right page, you'll just blow up that page and have to do more work. Select page structure again. It asks me, do I want to delete it? Yes. I am going to go through and text, so on and so forth. Now, a lot of people think that creating PDFs is accessible PDFs is hard. It can be hard, but there are ways to make it a little simpler, such as the clear page structure. Now, I am going to stop here for a moment. Let me highlight this last one, and I'm going to stop. Mark that as a figure, and I'm going to go back to the top. Now, if I check my reading order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's logical reading order. I could see that I need alt text here, which I can add by right-clicking, selecting that. And then I should right-click on the number 4, and it should ask me if I want to edit alternate text. Screenshot of the CIS website. And if this was decorative, I could say don't add alt text, but this is something that conveys information, so I want to make sure it's there. I click OK, and the alt text is updated here. This technique is good if you have a document that's, a few pages long, 10, maybe even 20. You can go through and clean it up very nicely. But what happens if you receive a 50-page or 100-page document? First of all, I hope that's not the case. A long document takes a while to edit. Second of all, if you do come across, if you do find yourself in that situation, I'm going to close out the reading order. I'm going to let Adobe figure this out for us. I'm going to select with my accessibility tab open. I'm going to select auto tag document. This document's already tagged. Would you like to re-tag the document? Yes. Now it's asking you because it notices that it has pictures that may have alt text. It recognizes it has headings and text. So I'm going to say yes and see what happens with the auto tag. I'm going to open up my reading order again. Look, it did a pretty decent job. I see the reading order 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to change what I see. I'm going to change here in the reading order pane, show page content groups. I'm going to change that to structure types. P stands for paragraph. We have figure, paragraph, paragraph. That's all right. It did a pretty good job marking things. And it even marked let me turn this off for a moment. The bullets, which are very hard to, which can be very hard to correct. Not impossible, just a little hard. But it looked like it created that just fine. Now, the reason why I say I should have started out with this is because it's very simple to blow it up. And essentially that's what we did. The technique that we're using is to blow this up. Either erase a page and start from scratch, or let Adobe take care of it. And then we go through and clean it up a bit. Since everything's already highlighted, everything's already marked, I'm gonna change the markings on this. Like I know this is a heading 1. It's a title, but I would use a heading 1 here. I would select it by selecting the P icon here. Then select heading 1. Same for right here. Heading 1. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good. For something like this, I'm gonna do a little cleanup. Turn that to heading 1. But with something like this where you have a paragraph of text, but Adobe marked it as 2 different lines, I like to combine that into one. So I'm gonna carefully highlight this and then select text paragraph. select heading 2, go down to here, select heading 2. I'm not going to worry about alt text just yet. I like to do that towards the end. But you can see how easy it made making a document accessible just by using the auto tag document. And that is heading 2. All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And that's a really quick way of getting your document accessible. And I feel like I should have started with that video one, but there are some things that I wanted to make sure that you understood why it worked. And if you go back and watch and you got a better understanding of how things work, using these really quick and easy tools will allow you to do your work quicker. Now, before I continue on with one more step, one more thing, I would want to know if you have any questions in the chat or yeah, anything else. Give it a moment to see if people have anything they want to add. Can you do the same on Canva? Yes, and please remind me. I know you can export images. Can you export PDFs? Okay, we can export both with Canva. All right. Yes, you can. If you export it as a PDF, you should be able to highlight the text and mark that as text. If for some reason you can't, Adobe Acrobat has OCR, optical character recognition, where you can run your document through that, and it should pick up on the text inside of it. That is really good if for some reason you downloaded a PNG versus a PDF. You can convert that image, PNG, into a PDF, and then you could run the OCR, which will take out the text. And then you can do the accessibility to that. I don't use Canva much. I should. Okay. Wait one more moment before we continue on. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll answer them in a little bit. Go ahead and share my screen again. Now, if I go here, I'm going to do an accessibility check again. It's going to give me some errors about alt text. It's telling me which ones don't have any figures to them, and that's okay. We can add that later. But I want to show you a couple of things before we move on. Sometimes when you create documents, the text runs from one page to another, and such as this. The links here should actually be with this page. When a screen reader comes and starts reading it, it will stop here and say page 2 or continue to the next page and start again. There will be this break, very noticeable break. And there's a way that we can stop that break from happening. Now we're going to get into a couple of harder troubleshooting techniques. And this one happens a lot. I'm going to go into my tags. I'm going to highlight this. I can highlight any part of here, but I want to highlight that and go up here to this little button, this options button. And it should say find tag from selection. I could go through this entire list here and try to figure out where this is located. But if I go to the options button, find tag from selection, it'll take me right where it needs to go. Now there's 3 paragraphs. I'm gonna turn on the reading order. And we could see that paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. If I open this up, it says the text here. If I open this up, it says the text here. And if I open this up, it says the text here. We could combine these into one. Click and drag and put it into the top one. Click and drag and put this into the top one. So now they're still separate, but a screen reader will read this without that break, without that pause. And when you got a document that's a few dozen, a few hundred pages, those ones where we're going to be text heavy and the sentence will continue on to the next thing. This is something that you would do. You wouldn't use this to continue page after page after page. You would use this when there is a block of text or a section that needs to stay together. When you're reading sometimes a book, you'll see a sentence that stops at the bottom of the page but continues to the top. As sighted people, we can recognize that. If we put that through a screen reader, there would be that break. It will say page 2 and then continue onward. Kind of breaks the reading process. And by doing this, it helps lessen the cognitive load and makes things a little better for people who rely on screen reader technology. Go ahead and delete these tags because I am done with that. Select L body, options, and then select, won't let me find tags. So then we go ahead and close this out because I need to highlight this like this. It won't let me do it with the reading order tools. I need to highlight the text. Come up here, find tag from selection. Now, with this, a quick review. L stands for list. L1 stands for list item, which is this entire thing. And that is broken into two parts. We got the label, which is the number, which is the period, which is the dash, and then we got the body. This is the proper format for a list. And if we did this, convert that to text, we would need to recreate this using that L1 or LI label and body. And that's not cool. I mean, it's cool that we can recognize it and we can do it, but it's adds some more work for us. And by using the auto tag document, we were able to really bypass that. I was hoping undo would work. That's interesting. Okay, I'll take care of that later. And here is another part where we have the section going on to the next one. We got this little section here. I'm going to highlight this. Go up here, options, and then find tag from selection. I'm going to move this to here. And I'm going to delete the tag. Here, there's different ways of setting up an Acrobat PDF. You may see these things called sections. And just like different sections in a Word document, this is how it lays it out in the tags. If I select section 1, it recognizes the section starts at heading 1 and stops here after the last paragraph. If I select section here, it highlights everything here and ends with that last paragraph. And within each section, there is little sections. Like we have H1, and under here section, it's going to highlight download your photos and the text underneath it. Oh, a little extra. Cool. That is because this is a heading 2. These are text, and that should be a heading 2. So there we go. And one more. There we go. Go ahead and stop sharing. Oh, teach blind students, and I hate to hear all the extra info in the document, and it's not just skip into the next page into the paragraph. All right, we got a real use case here. Simplistically the digital. Hi, thank you for dropping that in the chat. And this was a really quick and dirty way to create an accessible PDF. And if you watch the first 2 videos in this series, you'll get to see why things are in place. With this one, now that we have an idea of how things work, we can go and really go through and create a really quick accessible document. And remember, we are looking for progress, not perfection. And as we learn and start doing this more, we'll get better at recognizing the things that will trigger reading order issues, will trigger alt text issues and whatnot. What about that wink? Oh, thank you. How do we fix that? So in the video, there's this smiley face wink. I would drop in an emoji instead, because the screen reader will read an emoji. Thank you for catching that. That's how I would correct that. If we left that wink there, it would be semicolon, whatever the symbol is, the curve symbol. But if you include emojis, you want to make sure that you only use one at a time. Otherwise, it will keep going. Thank you. Open parentheses. It's the end of the day here for me, and I'm just kind of. But yeah, with emojis, you want to use only one at a time. You may see a social media post that has fire, happy face, fire, happy face. Well, a screen reader is going to read that verbatim. Fire, happy face, fire, happy face. The same thing would happen here if you use multiple emojis. And with that, I'm happy to answer more questions.
Let's see here. Not seeing. Oh, here we go. Are there any other tips to improve flow for screen readers in the documents? Fewer headings, maybe?
Simple documents. You keep your documents not necessarily fewer headings, because that's how screen readers can navigate from one place to another. It's a table of contents. But if you create simple documents and you use the different styles to mark headings or spacings, if you use tables, make sure that they are simple. If you got a complex table, see if you can turn it into a series of tables versus one big table with multiple headings and multiple rows. But yeah, the simpler you can make that document, the better. And if you do things like 2-column, 3-column in the thing, you make sure that you're using the correct tools to make that happen, and don't insert a text block and a text block and a text block. You would need to use the columns tool to do that correctly. So it's using your tools correctly and trying not to cheat. I do like the text boxes, but that is not really accessible. Ooh, question. Font style and sizes. For fonts, digital sans serif fonts, such as Helvetica, Arial, I know Microsoft has some, Lato from Google Fonts, those type of fonts. And what makes a font sans serif is, if you look at printed text, the A has a little tail at the end, goes like that and has a wiggly tail. And if you look at the F, it has a tail at the top. There may be tails in the middle and tails at the feet at the bottom. Sans serif gets rid of that. So it's just one stroke F, one A without that extra stuff. And if you're working with someone who is dyslexic or needs, has a hard time following text, you might use Open Sans. Open Sans had to learn to love it, because as a designer, I don't like it. But as someone who works in accessibility, I love the fact that it's a real cheap, fast, simple way of making a document accessible for those who are dyslexic, because all the letters are different. And there's a couple of other dyslexic fonts. One's paid, one's free. And for digital font size 16 or better. If you're using a reading one, size 12 or better.
What was the size 16 or better one again? Sorry.
Or digital, like PowerPoint presentations, stuff showing on the screen. This, where I'm at, the text should be 16.
Right. Excellent. All right, let's see if any other questions come in. This is great stuff. Thank you so much, Alan. I'm wondering, do you have any time in July? Do you think you can be part of the next AIDC event?
I'd be happy to, yeah.
Yeah? All right, because we're collecting speakers already. So this is perfect. You've already contributed like these 3 sessions to help the community out. Thank you so much. And so, I'll keep you posted. I'll let Kayleen know we're kind of working on building that one out. So I'll let you know dates and stuff in July. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for, extending your day out to help us here. Simplistically Digital is asking about, would love to hear more about using Canva and Google Docs.
Google Docs headings. Make sure your styles are correct. Everything that you would do in a Word document, you could do in a Google Doc. Canva is a totally different beast.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about, I'm sure, with all of that stuff. Okay, well, that's it. Hopefully this thing recorded. I don't know. Last session I did this last Friday, it didn't end up recording. Crowdcast is giving me a free month because we had that problem. So hopefully this one records, because we need to have this to share with everybody. But with that, Alan, I'm going to go ahead and just close the broadcast. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining us. And don't forget, this week, Learning by Doing, a games and gamification event for instructional designers, starts on Wednesday. It's ended up being a little bigger than originally planned. I think we have like 12 sessions instead of the 10 that we were going to do, or the 9, I think. Yeah, instead of the 9, now we have 12. So it's going to be a busy Wednesday through Friday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Cindy has helped with that one tremendously. So